Welcome back, this is part 2. If you haven't watched part 1 already, click the link in the bio and you can watch part 1 where we was explaining taking the engine apart, diagnosing the problem with the gearbox, fully shattered gearbox. This is part 2 and we're going to be putting it together with a different gearbox, explaining all the components, a few time lapses, getting this one fully closed, and then we will then do a part 3 of it all going back together and then back in the bike. Right, so this is the gearbox that we took out previously. As you can see already, he's done some serious damage to the teeth. One of the gears has fully gone, teeth all the way around, knackered. And then on this part as well, that tooth is missing. There is a few rounded dog teeth. But yeah, safer option in this term, we managed to find second-hand gearbox, low mileage. Definitely a cheaper option for the customer. Reason being why we didn't use the previous gearbox is because it did do a lot of damage, so there might be a few hairline cracks. Just a safer option. We know changing all these components, we know that it's definitely going to be safe. I can inspect it with my eyes, comes with warranty, so yeah. Right, so the gearbox is obviously completely out of the engine. We're going to start building the gearbox back up. I've already cleaned down all the edges so we can seal it. Also with the bottom crankcase, that's all cleaned. We're going to be using new genuine gaskets, getting all the torque settings sorted, give it a good clean, go through the gears and make sure everything's good to go back on the road. Right, so majority of the gearbox is already in. We put the selector forks in, top ones, bottom ones. That at the bottom is your gearbox drum. We put the main shaft through, which that's obviously what connects to the shifting rod. So when you change gear, we're going to get all this sealed up now, put the main one on top, and then we'll flip the engine round and start adding the basket in, and I'll start explaining a few components with the clutch. Right, so when fitting the gearbox, there's a tiny little guide here that has to sit into place with the crankcase. If that is not in place, this gearbox will not sit properly and you won't be going anywhere. Right, so main crankcase is on. We put all the bolts into place. We've just screwed down the main stretch bolts. They've got steps, so each of them have numbers. So when you're going obviously 1, 2, 3, etc., etc. We're going to get all the crankcase pushed down, and then we're going to torque them up step by step, and then get it all back together. We've obviously siliconed all the edges, as you do when you're putting a crankcase back together. They actually don't supply any main gasket. It's normally laser cut from factory. You just have to put silicone for safety. Obviously if you didn't have silicone it would leak, but yeah, no main gasket there. Then we're going to get all the sump back together, basket in, put all the side cases on with the new gaskets, get it turned around. We'll clean off all the bottom as well. As you can see, I've already cleaned all the main part of the engine side cases. Just need to do the sump and then we'll be good to go. That is the crankcase all bolted down. Every single bolt is up to its factory torque settings. Obviously you have to do it in sequence, as you would have seen just previously. The smaller ones, obviously a lot less. The big ones, to torque them up, then do them in a certain degree angle. Now we're just going to clean off this sump gasket. Obviously if you are doing any engine work, or as you see when I do engine work, I always like to clean off all the old gasket, because if you don't, even if you put a new gasket, you are gonna get an oil leak. So yeah, you literally need to scrape all that old gasket away so it's looking like brand new. Right, so when it comes to gaskets, I only really use genuine. A lot of these eBay gaskets, paper gaskets, they're rubbish, you know. They're thin, they're made from really thin paper. It's not that expensive, like £25, 30 quid per gasket, whether it be Kawasaki, Suzuki, Yamaha, Honda. Obviously Honda's a little bit different. A lot of them don't use gaskets, they just say put silicone. But when it comes to like the bikes that do use gaskets, I would literally only go genuine, because you're just gonna, you know, you pay cheap, pay twice, in terms of you're gonna use a rubbish gasket, you might finish the job, and when the bike gets to a temperature, it's gonna start seeping a little bit of oil. So make sure if you are doing any engine work, use a genuine gasket. So we're finished with all the bottom now, that's all closed up, oil pumping. We're just going to put the clutch in now, basket, hub, get all that bolted up together. As you can see, sitting as an engine would normally sit now, whereas before it was upside down. So yeah, this one's nearly complete. Just got to do clutch cover, cam cover, stator cover, give it a clean, do some little final checks, and that's it, engine closed. Right side is fully complete now. We're just on the left side. Gonna bang the alternator back on, the gasket, get this all closed up, clean the engine, and then this one is fully complete. MT10 engine is now fully complete. Next episode will be me putting the engine back into the motorcycle, videoing it a test ride, going through all the gears, making sure everything's working as it should be. So stay tuned, and also if you could let me know if you are enjoying these videos, including engine work, part 1, part 2, part 3. So yeah, if you want more, just drop a comment in the bottom and then let me know. Thanks for watching.